Now, before we're going to talk about the GIS again, let me just change the theme. So if I go to View, Change Theme, I've already explained to you the dark and the light. And I assume most of you are familiar with the normal classic view, this blue color. So when it comes to your GIS, your Geographic Information System, on your left-hand side, you will see that you've got your GIS and in a sub-column, the commands. Now, for those that missed out on the Caddie 26 launch, I'm just going to briefly run through the commands. Now, you will see that you've got your CRS. So I'm going to start off with my CRS because you have to tell Caddie what area you would like to add these files. So as you can see, if you've got latitude, longitude, you can make use of it, or by country and city, or you can even search. Then by default, or most of the time, WGS 84, and you're going to say, okay, so now your environment is set up. Then what you're going to do is you're going to make use of source. Now the source opens this source data dialog. Now, as you can see, I've already added some data. So to add a new data to it, you can right click and you'll see this option that says add data source. You'll also notice that once you've added it and you want to share it with your colleague, you can export it or you can even import data from your colleagues. So I'm going to say add data source and I want to add it from a file. So it's going to be a shapefile. So I'm going to say add. Now you'll see you can give it a name. Let's just call it ABC. And then you're going to ask for the source file. So you're going to browse for the source file. Now, although you can see it's asked for a shapefile, I just want to show you that in that zip file that you receive, say for instance from the City of Council, from the department, is that it can be more than one file, depends on what type of data is required. So at least a shapefile and a PRJ file. So I'm going to indicate the shapefile that I want to make use of. I'm going to say open. And as you can see, by default, it picks up the PRJ file in the same folder. So I'm happy, and you're going to say OK. So once it's added, then as you can see, at the moment, I'm in Durban. And in Durban, I've asked for the police stations as well as the boundaries. So if I go to my info, and I'm going to click on one of these yellow dots, as you can see, that gives me a satellite. It says satellite police station, and it's on the Marine Parade. If I go zoom out, let's just change to, let's say, Cape Town. I'm going to go to Cape Town. As you can see, there's the castle. And also what's nice about it is that once you select, we call it the polygons, we can right click and you will see if you go to your clone, you can make use of those settings because you can set transparency to the information as well. Now, as you can see, I'm in Cape Town at the moment. So what I'm going to do is now, if I go to the settings, I can ask Caddie. So when it comes to my line work itself, as you can see, I'm going to make it transparent so that I can see the building outlines. So I'm going to say OK, hit refresh, and as you can see, it applies the transparency. But where the transparency is especially better, you will see I've already downloaded the 20 townships or I've added the data source. So if I'm going to go to Pretoria, in Pretoria 20, as you can see, there's some data I've imported. Now you will notice that if I go to the settings and I can apply a color, let's say I'm going to want to make it green. If there's no transparency involved, I'm going to say OK, and now you'll see it will give us that green color. So let's go to settings and we ask I want to keep it green, but I want to apply transparency. So once it's applied, and let's query some of those areas. I'm going to click on info. I'm going to indicate the area. In this case, this one is in Capital Park. I can just move the dialog here to the side. Let's query, let's say over here. As you can see, that's Mountain View. So that's when it comes to your GIS. Now, another also enhancement in Caddie 27 is that, as you can see, you can build up your data source files. And when it comes to your next version, Caddie 28, and you want to migrate it, you will see that under your system, under the migrate setting, you will see that your GIS data source will be available for migrating to your new version.